sober culture, or sometimes people who quit like drinking, like they're so freaking annoying. You know, they're not like us.
Last question.
Pass.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Nikki. If you're not new here, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hi guys. In today's video, we have a guest here. This is Char, everyone. Say hi, Char. Hi, Char.
Hi.
Today we have another episode of Mixers and Muses, and we have Char. If you have never watched one of those before, it's just me interviewing one of my really cool friends, and we talk about stuff. It's really cool. Anyway, if you are new here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get straight into the video. So today's mocktail is a little mango pineapple berry mix kind of thing that we have going on.
Drink.
I'll put the ingredients on the screen. What we have today is pineapple juice, mango juice, black raspberry juice, and then we have strawberries in the bottom. So yeah, let's get crack-a-lacking.
Can I take a picture like that? Look at that. Wow.
Oh, behind the scenes.
Right.
Cheers.
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 Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Way to start.
Oh my god, yummy.
You like it?
Mm.
Yeah. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about sobriety and harm reduction. Ooh. So I brought Char on here because we've known each other for just over 2 years, and when we first knew each other, we were both like kind of like party goers, and we'd go out quite a bit and drink quite a bit. And then I feel like both of us kind of slowed down drinking, and now Char is almost a year California sober. You know what California sober means? Do you want to explain that?
No, thank you. Just kidding. So California sober is when you smoke weed, but you don't drink alcohol. So, California sober is a cooler way of saying alcohol-free lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
Because in California they smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah. So Char has been a year California sober, and I am not sober, but I have really cut back on alcohol very, very much. Now I just drink like 1 or 2 drinks, and yeah, and I think for both of us we did it for different reasons, probably.
Yeah.
Like the same kind of reason, just like feeling like shit after drinking a lot. And yeah, we kind of just want to share that journey, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So I have some questions. It's not like question and answer, like I'm not like interviewing you, but we can like talk,
Pass.
Oh, you're not allowed to pass the questions.
Never mind.
So the first question is, what invited you to start a journey of seeking more sober moments?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I guess maybe something else important to mention is that I actually have already gotten a year of California sobriety. It was in 2021. And then, I think in that time I was just like, I wanted to get it almost because I'm weird. Like I just like kind of set that goal, and I was like, I just want to get it to almost say that I could get it. Once that year hit, I actually didn't make it 13 months, and then I was like, we're just gonna do it a little bit. I went back to getting rocked kind of thing here and there. But I would say for me this time around, it was kind of like remembering, like comparing what it was like when I was alcohol free to like my current times. And even if alcohol wasn't necessarily like the problem that it like used to be in my life, I almost like feel like, okay, so even though it wasn't like super problematic, I almost like could unlock more potential. I'm somebody who like just has a lot of energy, so it wasn't like necessarily like a rock bottom that made me be like, hey, like I need to go back to it. But it just kind of was like, what else could I be doing if I didn't have alcohol in my life?
I really like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right. You have like so much potential, and like you're an Aries, so you're very much like all or nothing type of thinking. And if you feel like you can do like competitive, you know,
Yeah.
like driven, like if you feel like you can do so much better, then you're gonna do whatever you can to get there. And I feel like, yeah, you definitely, even like the changes that I've seen in Char just over this whole year, it's pretty
Miraculous.
impressive. Yeah, it's very, very impressive. So yeah, I'm so proud of you for coming to that realization. Do you think it was like a moment, or do you feel like it was just like a progression of things over time?
Like, that's a good question. I feel like, I think that it was kind of brewing again, being like, I think this is gonna happen. And then I think it might have been like applying for my current job, that like, because I applied for the job, and then 2 days later, I started the journey again. And, you know, I think I really, like, it was kind of, the word prestigious is weird, but it was like a very difficult opportunity. It was like an internship in my field, and I just wanted to make sure I was like, hey, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get this, but like if I do, I know that like the best chance that I have of like actually bringing value to the position would be if I like went back to my California sober roots.
So just to give the people context, what like is your role? Like what is your field that you're in right now?
So I'm in like child and youth care. It can be like, sometimes it feels overwhelming because like there's a lot of different things that you could do. Like you can work in community organizations, you can work in group homes, you can do this, you can do that. So I do like, I kind of like support like young people who have had difficult lives, I guess, is kind of like the general kind of overview of my field.
Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna answer the question too, just because yeah,
I was gonna ask it back.
No, you weren't.
No, I promise.
Oh.
I was waiting for you to stop for the follow-up. No, just kidding.
So on my end, I think what actually what prompted me to make a change with my drinking habits was me waking up hungover so many times in a row and just feeling like absolute shit on the day. And like I think that's the thing that I struggle with the most, is like, you know, you're pretty high on your alcohol, like when you're drunk you're on a good note usually, and then the next day you just feel terrible. And I was really struggling with that, so that's really what made me feel like I need to change the way that I drink and the way that I have this relationship with alcohol. I feel like there definitely was a time when I would drink to get wasted, and now I feel like I drink just to like in social situations, like just because everyone is drinking. But it's like a lot more controlled and not like it's not me trying to hurt myself. Or I guess that kind of brings us into like the topic of harm reduction, because like I did feel like it was becoming a way of me hurting myself, because I was just drinking and not thinking about me the next day, and I would wake up like absolutely destroyed, and I just hated that. I felt physically like it was making me very unwell. So
and then did you also have anxiety?
Yeah, anxiety was huge. Like I would wake up feeling extremely anxious and like very, very low, just like, yeah. So is that something that you can you can say you've experienced before as well?
Yeah, like anxiety is the worst, and like I don't know, just like for the hangovers as well, like just like when you are like, especially if you're getting physically ill as well, like when you're just sitting there and you're just being unwell, and then you're just kind of trying to recount, like
puking your guts out.
Like then you're just trying to figure out, what did you say? Okay, like what are people thinking of me? What about my relationships? Oh God, please don't make me look at my sent text messages.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes like way back when, like I used to delete my messages too when I was drunk and I knew I'd do bad. So like I really didn't know.
So you would send a message and delete it, like you would know that this is crazy.
Like at the end of the night, like it would be like some message thread to be deleted, and I'd be like, shh.
Yeah, anxiety can, like, a source of anxiety can be fearing what you did the night before, and I feel like I definitely struggled with that a lot. I would make very poor decisions when I was drunk, and it's like the same kind of train of thought that you were on, like what did I do, like did I mess up, like did I embarrass myself, what did I say to this person, all those uncomfy feelings they're not fun.
Yucky.
Literally so yucky. Now we're going to segue into the next question, which is, what does harm reduction mean to you?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So the like harm reduction, it's like, you can look at it in like a very clinical way, and then you can just like kind of look at it in like a casual way.
Okay.
But I'd say kind of like the gist of what harm reduction is to me is like, if you're doing something like, and if there is harm in it, like just not focusing on eliminating the behavior, but like focusing on ways to keep yourself more safe when you're doing the behavior type thing. So I really like that, because it like, especially like in my work too, like when you're supporting somebody with like a harm reduction approach, at the end of the day, it's also just like allowing them to be like, to pick how they want to handle their own problem. Like you're not being like, oh, you have to stop smoking weed like right now. You could just be like, hey, like, like, can you, like, are you changing your bong water? Like, are you, what are ways that you're kind of protecting, making sure your lungs aren't like being done too much.
Yeah.
But like like maybe, can you smoke one day, can you have gummies the other, like that kind of thing. It's just like, maybe in that way you're thinking about like physical impacts on the body. What does harm reduction mean to you?
Whoa! You flipped it back quickly. Okay, so I think I'll pair this with like an experience, or like how I have interacted with alcohol before, and why I think now I'm more of the harm reduction approach rather than the elimination approach. I started drinking like pretty young. Like I think I was 16 or 17 when I started drinking. And I think also I started drinking in a time when, just before I was still like figuring out, you don't know anything when you're 16 or 17. No. Like you're just a teenager trying to be rebellious and stuff. And I think that, and then on top of that, I also was kind of like, there was a time when I was like going through a lot, like at the end of high school, and I would just like use alcohol as like okay, it's time to escape. And I feel like that's when I was kind of being harmful to myself, because then I would put myself in situations where I knew that I wouldn't like the outcome of it, but I would do it anyway just because. And a lot of the time, like I would be like, oh, it's okay because I was drunk, it wasn't me, that was a different person, and shifting the blame and moving away from the responsibility, even though I knew that I hated how it made me feel, I hated how I felt after. And yeah, and then this didn't really click to me that it was an issue until I made a decision that really, I noticed that this was becoming a problem. Like I just felt like, I'm actually doing stuff that I really don't agree with. And I think when I changed like the way that I was looking at how I drink, like, and how I interact with alcohol. I think I was just kind of like, we live in a society right now where it's like, substance and like drinking, smoking weed, it's like very much ingrained. Not so much smoking weed, maybe more in Canada, but like drinking is a huge part of the culture. Like even like back in Zambia and Zimbabwe, like that is a huge thing here. Like everyone kind of just wants you to have a drink. Friday night drinks with the girls, like there's just like a lot of like that's a huge theme in like our social culture.
Even like just recently, we got like VIP movie theaters so that you could like drink at a movie. Like I didn't understand that, because it's like, especially like I was similar to you, like the way that I used to drink, I'm not gonna remember the freaking movies. There are parks now too, like they changed that where it's actually like legal to have like open alcohol, so it's just like, oh, enjoy nature, but make sure you got a beer.
Exactly. So like with such a focus on like having drinks and having alcohol in social gatherings, I feel like my harm came from me approaching that situation and knowing that, okay, I can just get hammered today, like I can get wasted and like not really think about it tomorrow. But now I'm kind of just like, hey, there might be alcohol, maybe I'll have one or two drinks, but that's not really the focus. Like I'm there to socialize with my friends. And like I spoke to some other people who are sober as well. Like I've spoken to you. I have one other friend that's sober, and I feel like both of your takes were very similar. That what is your definition of fun? Like what are you finding fun in, and like is that form of fun causing harm for you, and like how you interact with that.
And when you were talking about your like mindset change, was that like this year when that started happening? And like I don't like, you have that your New Year's goal, right?
Okay. I also set a goal this year to not be hungover this entire year, which I have kept up with. Yay! So I have not been hungover this year, which is like a huge thing for me, because I think like a lot of times last year I found myself like really, really, really anxious the day after, and I just didn't want to have that experience this whole year. And so far I can feel like a huge difference from the way I used to feel after going out and how I feel now. And I feel like that has been my effort in harm reduction, just like setting small manageable goals that I know that I can work towards. And it's helping me. I think it helps more in the long run, especially if you feel like it's harder to cut it out because of like you're like the societal pressures and it's, I feel like also sometimes people it is like an identity thing, like when you tell people that, oh, I don't drink, like it, like people like categorize you as, oh, you're someone who doesn't drink, so I can't invite you to this, and I can't talk about this around you and all of that stuff. So
but like I think that's so good, like when you are talking about harm reduction, like because when you do talk about like cutting it out versus harm reduction too, like I have been there myself when I've tried to set these goals for myself and it didn't work. So then for me, like my harm reduction had to be actually, like that's why I'm California sober, because for me like weed is so much less harmful than alcohol is. But like for you, like if you're noticing, okay, well what I don't like about alcohol is when I overdo it, and it's because all these things happen. When you're not getting like not drinking to the amount, when you're actually not getting hungover, like you actually like don't, from where I'm standing, like you don't need to cut out alcohol then, because you're able to like set the goals and like enjoy it in the kind of the limitations that you feel comfortable with and that you're okay. Because like sometimes, especially like society is taking a little bit of a twist, like sober culture, or sometimes people who quit like drinking, like they're so freaking annoying. Because then they're just like, oh, alcohol is poison. I'm like, cool, like this other stuff, like everything is poison. But like at the end of the day, it still is a substance. It still does have good things about it. Like so many people wouldn't do it if there wasn't good things about it too. But I just really like how there's like a different way of doing it. Like, you identified it's a problem. I actually felt really similar to how I started for you as well. Sometimes you can get out of that and you can deal with it in good ways. Sometimes you can't, right?
Next question. How do you stay motivated or disciplined in staying away from alcohol?
That's a good question. I would say that, like, I think my most challenging time is like just the holiday season. Like, you know, it's so ingrained in that, and then also just like a lot of negative feelings about like the holiday season as well. I honestly don't really know. Like, for that one, it's just pure like telling myself that I like kind of have to. Like, I just blur it out, honestly. Maybe a lot of disassociation, like maybe I am smoking more that time, like I don't know. But like on like a time like now, like when it's summer, there's still totally cravings, right? Like there's the patio and stuff like that. I love non-alcoholic beers. In fact, I think I drink beer more now than I did when I was drinking, just because like, oh my god, wings and an NA,
so good. The crisp pop, so good.
But even like this though, like actually making like just like a fun drink is just like I don't know, like maybe it's like a little bit of a trick, maybe it's a way to be like, hey look, like I'm having fun too, like I don't know, but I think like actually just like not just being boring, like, oh look at her with the water bottle, like, you know what I mean? And like that's fun, I love water too, but like, you know, like I want to enjoy in the fun sometimes.
You said water bottle.
Mirroring. Sometimes when the person you're with drinks the water and then you see them, you subconsciously think, oh, I need to drink the water.
Really? I can believe that, because you know, mirror neurons.
Yeah, mirroring neurons. Oh, did you get a psych degree?
No. Yes, I did.
Cool.
But you knew that.
Oh.
That was a really good answer.
Thank you.
That was a great answer.
And what was the question again?
How do
you stay motivated to stay away from alcohol?
Oh, that's a great question, honestly, Char. Okay, so the way that I stay motivated, I think, is just like my intense fear of being hungover. Whenever I go out right now, I always make sure if I drink one drink, I have to drink one water after.
Harm reduction.
True. Like I always have to drink a water after, because I am terrified of being hungover now. Like I can't do it. It just like it scares me. So that's kind of like one of the motivating things. And then also I do have like goals. I think Capricorn and Aries are kind of similar in the way that they're both like very much goal driven signs, and they're like starters. So I think like having goals like that, like me sticking to my goals, really is rewarding for my brain. So I like me being like, yay, it's been 6 months into the year and I have not been hungover. That's like a huge thing for me. So those are the two things that help me stay motivated.
I hear that.
You hear that?
I also like to because for me too, like maybe this is what I do in the holiday seasons, but like how you feel like really scared to like be hungover. Like sometimes what helps me, it's being like, even if I really like have such a craving, or like I'm just like I think I miss like being able to just block it, all of these freaking thoughts out of my head
feelings,
too.
Yeah.
But like if you could just like, what I just do is fast forward to like 12 hours later when the alcohol is gone, when my streak is gone, goal driven. You think about it, and you're in this place when like again you're not feeling the alcohol, and it's like, okay, so then what? Like then like what is gonna make me not want to drink today? You know what I mean? Or in that 12 hours, like it's so much easier to do it again after you've like broken that. I don't even know if that makes sense. Anyways, that was it.
Yeah, and I think what you're kind of alluding to is like, what's the reason? Like what, like you're drinking and then you're gonna be drunk and then it's gonna go away, and then like what's the reason you drink again?
Yeah, and it's just it's just such a slippery slope. Like even that's what happened last time, is I thought that after I had the full year under my belt that I could just like, you know, I think a lot of things, like a lot of stress just kind of came to a head, and then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it once. And then it was like, okay, well, you know, you did it, it was done. And then I was like, okay, well, now I want to drink again, and I've only not drank in for one day, so yeah, I'm gonna do it again. And then it's just
Slippery soap.
You know, they're not like us.
Next question. How do you feel navigating social situations that involve alcohol?
It's a good question. Like, it's, well, number one, I'm not that social, but like, you know, I'm trying to think of like actual social situations. I guess by not going to them, like for the most part, like I must have gone to a social situation where.
What about the prom? There was no alcohol there?
No, that was a sober one.
Really?
Well, and I was working. Like, what do you want me to do?
No, like, like there's alcohol there.
Oh, like if there's alcohol there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like honestly, like I think it might be the Aries in me, but like even with like sometimes like yeah, like even at like Christmas and stuff like that. Like, did you guys drink? Did you? Guys
Yeah,
drink
we
your time?
did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, like. I get in this point, like, sometimes it is hard, and, like, with me and my wife, like, we will always communicate if we're gonna go somewhere, and if she's gonna drink, like, how are you feeling type thing, but, like, for the most part, it's just, like, I feel like a lot of people, like, everyone around me can be drinking, but if I have the goal within myself that I don't want to drink, that's all I need to do. So, like, I don't actually get tempted. I just think it's, like, between me and myself all the time. Like, if I'm gonna drink or if I'm gonna be tempted, like, I really don't give a shit, like, what everyone else is doing. Like, I could even go probably to, like, the club and, like, go dancing and stuff like that. I've never done that once, but, like, I mean, I'm sure I could. Just put an NA in my hand and that's it. This one's a boring answer for me. Yeah. How about you?
I think, for me, most of the time, I just have that balance. That one rule that if I'm going to be drinking, I have to drink a lot of water because I don't want to have a headache the next day or be throwing up. So as long as I keep that balance and like I know that I'm not overdoing it, and also I kind of get louder when I drink. So like I'm doing too much. I'm like yelling. I'm like, hey, let's get the party started. I'm like, yeah, I need to slow down. So those are my tell signs. Tattletale. Last question.
Pass.
Okay. What advice or takeaways would you give to people who are on a similar journey?
That's it. Yeah, that's a really good question. You answer first.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Flip it back to me. Okay. I think if someone is like on like a sober curious, I think that's kind of like the journey that I'm on, or like California sober, or just like fully sober. I think what I would say is do what works best for you. Like, don't look at other people's journeys and compare them to you. As Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is a thief of joy. And I know that because I heard it in a book yesterday.
You heard it. Oh,
audiobook. So
Theodore.
Theodore. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Like, you're doing this, and like know your why. Like, why are you like changing your relationship with alcohol? Why are you changing your relationship with any type of substance? Is it like to impress other people? Is it just because you can say it? Is it just because like, you know, everyone is kind of doing it, so you want to try? Just like have your why, and I feel like that would help quite a bit. How do you feel, Char?
Same. Just kidding. Honestly, it was gonna be like really similar. Like, I think I like might have like briefly said something about this, but like the thing is like abstinence is seriously one way to do it, and I think that a lot of connotations, is that the word I'm looking for? Like a lot of like people think that is the only way, and that just like couldn't be so far from the truth. Like, you know, Nikki and I, we started drinking kind of the same story, and because of the way that we're both able to handle alcohol, because of like so many other things, like different things are working for us. So don't feel like if you have to be abstinent. Just figure out the harm reduction. I love harm reduction.
Yeah.
Like, figure out what it is that you are not liking. Like, why do you want to start this journey? Figure out the why, and then if you can figure out ways to mitigate the why, and then you still also do enjoy things about that substance, and you think you can stay within those limitations, like, allow yourself the freaking fun, man. You know what I mean? Like, and be gentle with yourself.
Whoa!
Because honestly, like, I have to say, like, starting this journey or this year over again was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and especially because I was so public about it. Like, I gotta be honest, was part of the reason I did it the first time around for the gram?
Yeah.
I don't know. But, like, thinking about that, like, I did make a 1-year post. It's gone now. You know, if I wasn't gentle with myself, I didn't allow myself to make the mistakes, then I wouldn't be here again. And, like, it is, I think it's like in 3 days I'll be at 11 months again. Like, that's amazing. But I needed to have this space to be like, hey, like, you know, it's okay. Like, God, one time I looked at how many days I would be at if I didn't fail, and I was like, why did you do that?
Literally.
You know what I mean? And, like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's what I would have to say about it. But it's just like, you know, it's not linear, and really just figure out what you want to do and just do it. And if it doesn't work out, then just try again. If it doesn't work out again, just try again. If you want to take a break for a bit, then take a break for a bit, and then try if it feels good again.
That was so good, though.
Thank you.
That was I'm so glad that you came onto my little episode show. Thank you so much for sharing with the people.
I'm happy to be here.
Char is literally such a great person in my life. Like, look at how fun she is.
Yeah.
So,
Likewise with Nikki. We're best friends.
yeah, we are.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you like this video, don't forget to leave me a like, comment something if you are feeling any types of feelings that we have here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. If you're new here, okay, so today's mocktail.
Sorry.
Strawberries. Whoa. Char, you look like you're on a TED Talk.
Welcome back to the den. I'm scared.
Hi. Okay, so we have to. Okay, can you do it? You can't do it. Okay, it's Boots and Cats. I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby.